Have you ever felt a quiet, persistent voice echoing from the depths of your soul, whispering that you are meant for more than what your present life reflects? That silent stirring, that inexplicable pull towards something greater, is not delusion or fantasy. It is your destiny calling. And in the words of Carl Jung, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. To answer the call to your destiny is to begin the courageous journey of individuation, the unfolding of the self that God and nature intended for you. Jung did not believe destiny was something imposed upon us from the outside. Rather, it is imprinted within us, etched deep into the layers of our unconscious. Like a seed buried in the soil, your destiny waits for the right conditions to bloom. But here's the painful truth. Most people will never answer that call. They will silence it with distractions, numb it with routine, or bury it beneath the expectations of others. What about you? Have you answered your call? Or have you been too afraid to even listen? This is not merely a motivational question. It is existential. According to Jung, the human psyche is a battlefield between the persona, the mask we show to the world, and the self, our true divine essence. Many of us get stuck in the persona, striving to be liked, accepted, and approved of by society. But our destiny cannot be fulfilled from behind a mask. The path to your true calling requires removing every layer of false identity and facing the raw, unfiltered truth of who you are. And that process is painful. It is also holy. If this resonates with you, pause here and reflect. What mask have you been wearing? Leave a comment. Name it. Naming is the first step toward liberation. Jung said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." What many people call bad luck or missed opportunity is often the result of unacknowledged fears, patterns, or beliefs operating in the shadows of their unconscious. Unconscious. Your destiny is not hidden from you. It is hidden in you. The journey of destiny is the journey of bringing light to those shadows. You will not find your destiny by seeking comfort. You will find it in the confrontation with your own darkness. Jung believed in the shadow, the disowned parts of ourselves that we repress or deny. To move toward your purpose, you must first face what you've avoided your entire life. Your wounds, your rage, your shame, your inadequacies. Not to be consumed by them, but to be integrated. For there is no light without darkness. There is no wholeness without fragmentation. Take a moment to ask yourself, what part of yourself have you abandoned in order to be accepted? Share it if you dare. Your vulnerability might awaken someone else's courage. You are not called to live someone else's version of success. You are called to fulfill your unique purpose, shaped by your personal story, your wounds, and your gifts. God does not waste pain. Every scar has encoded within it a deeper meaning. Jung once said, "The greatest and most important problems of life are all fundamentally insoluble. They can never be solved but only outgrown." Your destiny is not a problem to solve. It is a reality to grow into. But growth is not linear. The journey is chaotic, filled with false starts, breakdowns, and moments of despair. There will be seasons when everything falls apart, not because you're failing, but because the false structures are collapsing to make room for the real you. In those moments, remember, destruction often precedes resurrection. As the Bible teaches, unless a kernel of wheat falls to the ground and dies, it remains only a single seed. So let it die. Let the version of you that was built on fear, shame, and insecurity fall to the ground. Only then can you rise into who you were created to be. Jung described this death and rebirth as essential to individuation. In each of us, there is another whom we do not know. He speaks with his own voice and makes its demands upon us.
To us in dreams, and tells us how differently he sees us from the way we see ourselves. The more you ignore that inner voice, the louder your suffering becomes. Not all pain is punishment. Sometimes pain is the call to return to your path. If you've been hurting lately, consider this. Could your suffering be a sacred invitation back to yourself? Comment the word return if you feel it in your bones. Destiny is not found in a moment of enlightenment. It is shaped in the mundane, in the decisions you make when no one is watching, in every choice to be honest instead of performative, in every moment you choose alignment over approval. Jung believed that true transformation occurs when we face ourselves fully, not when we try to fix ourselves, but when we embrace the truth of who we are with compassion and courage. That means healing your inner child. It means forgiving what you can't forget. It means being willing to walk alone if that's what truth requires. Because the path to your destiny is narrow and not everyone will come with you. But that's okay. Destiny is not about popularity, it's about purpose. What are you willing to let go of to walk in your purpose? Leave a word or a phrase in the comments. Your surrender might set someone else free. As Jung often taught, the symbols and patterns of your dreams are not meaningless. They are maps from your unconscious, guiding you toward integration. Pay attention to what keeps appearing in your life. What repeats is a message. What triggers you is a teacher. What draws you inexplicably is likely divine. Your destiny doesn't shout. It whispers. It appears in quiet moments, in gut feelings, in patterns you can't explain. It shows up when you stop trying to control everything and start listening. And listening, truly listening, is an act of humility. Jung believed that when we silence the noise of the ego, we begin to hear the voice of the self. And the self always speaks with truth. Your destiny is not about escaping
Life, it's about embodying it fully. Every fear, every failure, every disappointment, it all belongs. Nothing is wasted. God uses it all. The question is, will you listen to the call? Will you follow the thread, even when it leads into the unknown? If you felt that call, if your soul has been stirring, comment the word ready. Sometimes all it takes is a single word to begin again. Let me leave you with this. You were not born to live a life of quiet desperation. You were not created to simply survive. You were called to your destiny. And your destiny is not a destination. It is a becoming that requires the courage to lose what is false in order to uncover what is true. The world needs who you really are. Don't wait. You've made it this far. That alone says something profound about your soul. It's awake, it's listening, and maybe for the first time in a long time, it's remembering what it came here to do. Because the truth is, we are not merely creatures of flesh navigating a meaningless world. We are beings of spirit, called into time with purpose, with vision, and with a path that must be walked, even when it's difficult, lonely, or invisible to others. Carl Jung's work constantly pointed to this reality, that we are not complete until we unite with the self, our deepest essence, our truest form, our divine design. And that union only happens when we dare to live the life we were created to live, not the life we were conditioned to accept. So I ask you again, who would you be if you weren't afraid? Let that question
sink in. Better yet, comment a name, a word, an image that rises when you imagine your most authentic self. Call it out. It's time to stop hiding. The call to your destiny is not a one-time event. It is continual. It comes in waves, sometimes strong, sometimes faint, sometimes like a burning bush, other times like a gentle nudge in the dark. But the more you listen, the clearer it becomes. And the clearer it becomes, the more disruptive it will be.
Be to the life you've settled for. Jung spoke often about the midlife crisis, but what he was truly pointing to was not age, it was awakening. At some point, the soul demands to be heard. It won't let you continue pretending. It won't allow you to ignore the dreams, the longings, the holy discontent. That ache you feel, that dissatisfaction with the ordinary, that's not failure. That's the sacred fire. That fire will burn away everything false. If you're in a season of loss, if you feel like everything is crumbling, relationships, careers, even your identity, don't run. Don't suppress. Ask instead, what truth is trying to emerge from this destruction? Comment awakening if you know this fire. Let others know they're not alone. Destiny doesn't demand perfection. It demands honesty. It calls for alignment. And alignment means this: that your inner world and outer life match, that your thoughts, your beliefs, your words, your actions, and your values all point in the same direction. Most people live fragmented. They say one thing but feel another. They dream of purpose but settle for comfort. They long for love but hide their hearts. But the call to destiny is a call to integrity. Jung taught that the psyche seeks wholeness, not success, not status, wholeness. And to become whole, you must bring every dismembered part of yourself into the light. Your story, your wounds, your rage, your gifts, your fears, nothing can be left out. This is the path of individuation. This is the road less traveled. This is your road. But how do you begin? You begin by telling the truth to yourself about who you are, about what you want, about what's dying inside you when you pretend to be someone you're not. You begin by noticing the lies you tell to get by, to be liked, to be seen as successful. You begin by choosing courage over convenience. What truth have you been avoiding? Leave it here if you dare. Let this be your altar of honesty. Jung believed that God speaks to us through
Unconscious, that your dreams, your intuitions, your recurring thoughts, these are not random. They are messages from the deep. Your soul is trying to guide you. The divine is not distant. It lives in you, and it longs for you to return. That longing you feel to change your life, it's not fantasy, it's prophecy. And yes, the world will resist you. People will misunderstand you. You might be judged, laughed at, or even abandoned. That's the price of becoming. Jung once said, "The individual must go his own way, however strange and crooked this may seem to others." Your path won't always make sense to those around you, but it doesn't have to. It only has to make sense to your soul. So walk it, even if you walk alone. Because when you walk your path, you don't stay alone for long. You begin to attract others who are also awakening. You begin to build your true tribe, not of those who tolerate your mask, but of those who celebrate your essence. These are the people who are also being called. And when you walk in truth, you don't just change your life, you become a lighthouse for others. Who are you becoming? Share it. Give others permission to step into their light too. And remember this, God does not call the perfect, He calls the willing. Your past does not disqualify you. Your doubts don't disqualify you.
The very fact that you're reading these words is proof that something ancient and eternal is stirring in you. You're being summoned. The question is, will you answer? Jung's psychology invites us to see this call not as random or optional, but as the very reason we are alive. When we ignore it, we suffer. When we follow it, we transform. Not just ourselves, but the world around us. Because a soul on fire lights up every room it enters. You were called to your destiny, not to comfort, not to complacency, but to greatness. But greatness in Jungian terms does not mean applause or fame. It means authenticity. It means wholeness. It means living the life that only you can live. It means becoming so deeply yourself that your very existence becomes a revolution. So stand up, step forward, leave behind the persona, abandon the performance, come home to yourself. Because the world is starving for realness. It's aching for truth. And your truth, when lived fully, becomes your greatest gift to this world. If these words have stirred something in you, if your soul is whispering, yes, comment the word becoming. This journey is sacred, and you're not walking it alone. Let me leave you with Jung's own words as both a benediction and a reminder. The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely. But in that terrifying acceptance, you will discover your destiny, and you will finally be free. If this message awakens something inside you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs to be reminded of who they really are. The time is now. You were called to your destiny, and destiny is waiting.